In this episode, Lemurian light shaman Huna Flash graces us with his presence. Join us today as Huna shares with us teachings from Lemuria, the importance of language and light codes, the significance of light, and even gifts us with a blessing. This is a rare opportunity to hear from one of the few living light Lemurian shamans in the world today. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. Now, today we actually talked to Huna Flash, and I'm going to get into that in just a sec. But one thing that I'm often checking out is looking at new research that's popping in around different health topics. And so I often check out the Environmental Working Group because they often have interesting research that pops up all the time. And one that just came in the other day was talking about breaking news: cell phone radiation linked to breast cancer. And they basically said new research reveals that radio frequency radiation from cell phones and computers can significantly increase the risk of breast cancer, especially in women over 50. So we already know that cell phone radiation is linked to a number of other things, including brain tumors, emotional and hyperactivity disorder in kids, and migraine headaches, and a number of other things. And then recently, just again, now talking more about brain cancer. So I'm just going to show you the study because as I'm here, I'm just going to share my screen. So you'll see here in the journal Experimental and Therapeutic Medicine, exposure of radiofrequency radiation increases risk of breast cancer, a systemic review and meta-analysis. And this was published online November 9th, 2020. And essentially, you look at the abstract and you come down, and it was concluded that radiofrequency radiation exposure significantly increased the risk of breast cancer, especially in women aged over 50 years and in individuals who used electric appliances such as mobile phones and computers. So the information is out there. And this is just a really easy thing to start to mitigate whenever you can. One thing that we recently did is we got a timer for our router. So you can actually pick up a timer. It cost us probably about 20 bucks to get it. And we plug it into our router and we set the timer. So it automatically shuts things off overnight. There's just no need to be having the EMF emitting from these devices all day long. So some real basic things that you can do: get a timer for your router, set it up, and then have it turn off between, say, 11 o'clock at night and 7 o'clock in the morning. So you're not bathing in that overnight, especially if you've got kids and pets and everything too. Just shut it all down. It's easy. You set it up and then it does it automatically for you. If you ever really needed it, you could go and reset it and have access to it if you needed to. But for the most part, people are sleeping through that, so you don't need it. The other thing that we do is keep your phones on airplane mode as often as you can. Don't put them in your pockets unless they're on airplane mode. And even then, I would keep them generally away from you. If I'm talking to someone, it's always going to be on speaker. I don't put the cell phone right to my ear. Again, really basic, simple things. And then the other thing that you can do is get some sort of EMF mitigating technology. So we prefer to use EMF harmonized. And if you go to the website Inspire Health Podcast, just click on the link here, get 10% off powerful EMF mitigating technology, or right down here, EMF harmonized, EMF and 5G protection technology. Just click the link. It'll take you directly to their website, and then anything that you order from them will automatically, they will take 10% off of your order. We use their products on all of our devices. So all cell phones, all tablets, all computers, on our router, along with taking these other precautions by shutting the Wi-Fi down at night, by keeping the cell phones away from our body parts as much as we can. Again, it's also been very linked to infertility. Infertility is at a record high than ever across the globe. So again, just one more thing that you can just take out. I talk so much about the idea of resilience, and part of resilience is mitigating the things that we don't need to be building up and accumulating problems in our lives. So just the same as we eat healthy foods, the same as we drink healthy water, you can mitigate EMF technology. Check out EMF Harmonized. Their products are amazing and easy to just click on the link in the show notes or on the website. Now, when we get into our episode with Huna Flash, so Huna Flash is a living Lemurian light shaman from New Zealand. And we came across his work fairly recently, and we wanted to talk to him for being a part of this series on science, mysticism, and beyond. And he's he's the real deal. This is basically what he does. His mission is more or less to go to different areas in the world to literally open stargates to allow more light to come into the planet and to assist us with humanity's evolution. I mean, it is really an altruistic purpose that this man has, and he's on a mission. And so we wanted to talk to him, and we ask him a lot of different questions. We really try to break down what is light? What does he mean by distorted light? What is going on in these times right at the moment? We talk a little bit about Lemuria and what Lemuria is. We talk a little bit more about how light got distorted and the different ways that even our feelings and senses have been hijacked in many ways. Talking to Huna Flash is a unique experience because this man is seeing things in a very multidimensional, non-linear way. And we are asking him very 3D linear questions to try and gain some insight as to what these concepts really mean. So sometimes you might feel like the conversation's going back and forth, but just try and stay with it and pick up as much as you can. Now, there is a period towards the very end when we ask Huna if there's anything else he'd like to share. And you're going to hear some silence on the podcast, but you will be able to see what's going on in the YouTube video that's up on our YouTube channel at Dr. Jason Loken, ND. And on here, he basically delivers a blessing for us. So I encourage you all to take part in that if you can. And enjoy this episode. It's going to be a part of this series. This is the 4th episode in this series. I believe we're going to have about 15 guests for this entire series, and each one is bringing another piece of the overall puzzle. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe so that you get updates on all of the next guests. All of the different people that are going to be a part of this series all really bring different information to fill in all of the gaps and to provide some support while we're going through this major transition in human history. Okay, everybody, thanks so much, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye. Welcome to the Inspire Health Podcast. Your life is about to get a whole lot better. Have you ever felt like you tried everything and yet still couldn't find the answers or the solutions that you were seeking? Whether you're dealing with chronic illness, physical or emotional pain, I want you to know that your body is the most sophisticated machine on planet Earth. Your body holds unfathomable wisdom. Trust in it and learn from it. Know that there are answers and there are solutions to your specific health challenges. And we will be uncovering all of them here on the Inspire Health Podcast. I'm so excited to be a part of your healing journey. Your transformation starts now. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
How's my hair?
Wonderful.
You know, how's the head? Is the head on straight?
Looks good.
Yeah,
It looks good.
It looks good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Inspire Health Podcast and to our 4th episode of the Science, Mysticism, and Beyond Humanity's Next Phase of Evolution series. Today, we are super honored to have a living Lemurian light shaman of New Zealand, Huna Flash. Huna was born of the ancient Maori navigators lineage in New Zealand on February 3rd, 1964. At the age of 7 years, he had awoken to his remembering, to the speaking, to the vibrations, frequency, and energy. Nurtured by his elders and culture at home in his sacred longhouse and canoe, he was recognized by one who is ready to receive the initiations of the knowings and wisdom of the unknown. In 1986, he was initiated to Tohunga Huna and began his life into service of much higher vibrations. Having completed his studies at the Mystery School of the Special Bird, Huma Mauta began service at home and then eventually around the world. Now internationally recognized and respected, he has been the lead navigator of countless high-value missions, including the Paradigm Convergence 11-11-11 in Jerusalem 2018, the Ancient Ancestors Assembly in the Black Forest of Switzerland, Germany 2017, countless healing sessions in Native American communities and all communities over 3 decades, having completed a 33-day tour of the EU, including 7 countries this past June 2019, he continues his walk on Earth to share the calendar of first light and the uniscope of ways. Known as the keeper of the Great Seal of Kunara, he takes his seat at the Southern Star, seat 1 of all sectors, Mahakawatahi. Huna Flash, what an honor to have you here today.
Well, that was a mouthful. There's a whole lot of everything and then nothing.
Well, that's why we get you for a while to kind of explain all of it. So
Yeah,
we've been following your work for the last while, Huna, when we came across it, and it really resonated. And Taya, particularly, when she first heard it, she really felt a soul connection with the work that you were doing. And so we really wanted you to be a part of this series, because this series is just bringing light. It's bringing information in many different ways, in information that maybe might not be so well known, and that we think is incredibly important at this time. So we're very thankful to have you as a guest on this series.
it's an honor to be in the company of such wonderful healers and navigators of light and intellects and academics on your series. So it is truly a special day today. Uh, Today is as we arrive here is Unra Toho, which means the light of the celebrated one, um, and that being the celebrated one being the humpback whale. And so, in alignment to nature and the supernature, the calendar of light of days, or the Lemurian calendar, offers us and invites us to this understanding. Yeah, and truly is a special day, being January 8th within the Lemurian calendar is an 8/8, January being the 8th month. The Lemurian calendar, so it's an 8/8, and this is where the Lion's Gate of Lemuria, the alignment to higher frequency stargates are opening to assist in this purging of distorted light off out of the atmosphere and away and out of our breath. So, and to meet you here and to align to these wonderful members on your panel and on the series. So grateful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, and you just said a bunch of things, and just for the audience, we are going to be breaking a lot of these things down so that we really get an understanding of what they mean, because they really are important. So as we go through here, stay tuned, because we will be breaking a lot of these concepts down so that they make more sense. And a lot of people have been asking us from even other guests that we've had, things like, what do we mean by light? How do you get light? What is distorted light? What are these different concepts mean? So we're going to come to those in just a moment. But first, I would like to ask, what does your name mean? So Huna Mauta Taki, and where does Flash come from?
Okay, so it's not a name, it is an essence. Okay, we are ultimately nameless, save for the names that our families share with us from our ancestorship or from somebody actually liking you. Yeah, and Mauta is the essence, action, and the light and action of of my being, of my essence. So Huna refers to light and action, also refers to one in the many and many in the one. So one light in the many lights in the one. And Mauta refers to first light and the action, a specific action of the light. Ma meaning first light. Uta is the energy that's maybe known to you through Ursa Minor or the Bear constellation. It's a very powerful lifting energy, right? And the Kumara refers to the light of days, the calendar of the light of days, invested into us and invited to us by Sanat Kumara, one of the Lord of the light of days. And the Taki refers to a flash of light. Okay, it refers to what type of action, what movement and kinetic energy, magnetic and frequency and vibration of Mauta Kumara, which is a Taki, which is a flashing light. And so I was lovingly nicknamed some time ago by the other Hunas, and they began to nickname me as Huna Flash, and they even got me a hat. That's where all that comes from. But ultimately, it's my light in action beyond the self. And where does light come from? Was that your other question?
Well, why don't we jump into that, because that is an important question. And even when we talk to some other guests, questions that have come up have been people questioning what is light. They're saying, well, it's not just light from the sun, or is it, or what is it? And so we've kind of explained that in different ways, but I love to get everybody's perspective on it. So and light's a big topic. So from your perspective, what is light?
So it's a combination, right? It's an amalgamation. It's a convergence of many understandings, many technologies, and many wisdoms and knowledge. And one place we can begin with this is at the fractal level. Okay, so if you can imagine, or if you can envision your own cells, the cells of your body, right? The electrons and the protons and the neutrons, right? And the spark that when they are in motion, or even not in motion, really, they exist. And so that energy and that spark creates light. Yeah? The arcing, the arc of voltage and amperage through frequency and vibration and electromagnetics, they exist. I share this sometimes, if I can share this image with you, from the continuum or the cradle being the void, from the void to the first dimension. And my understanding of that is the first dimension is pure with sans or sins intention. Sans intention, no intention. Pure vibration, energy, frequency, and magnetics with no influences, just pure. And to me, in my understanding, that is the first dimension, and that exists. So coming from the void to the first dimension, we're coming from outside of light into light. And then from the first dimension or the dimension one, actually I refer to dimension one sometimes as AI, okay, AI. And I don't mean artificial, I refer to authentic intelligence of dimension one. As we are beings of ancestral potentiality, we're always, and we are always, and even if we're not always trying, we are recreating and creating every nanosecond of every moment, not time, but every moment. Or relieve you from time for the moment, just for the moment by moment, which is at the fractal level. And so as we are recreating, we receive from dimension one into the second dimension, dimension two. And we bring that purity of the authentic intelligence into the realm of organic intelligence. And organic intelligence is not just sitting there being organic. It is being mixed and created from the first dimension of authentic intelligence, because now we are placing intention on it. Okay, now we are placing our intention on it. We are placing our intention on the authentic intelligence, thereby creating organic intelligence from our word, whether our word be spoken or whether without word, without being spoken. In other words, with breath or without breath, intention. And this a mixing of authentic intelligence and our intention, now we are influencing it. We are creating organic intelligence into the second dimension, otherwise known as hell, otherwise known as the underworld, otherwise known as all these crazy imprints. This is what I say, what I share, okay? It's the craziness, the nonsense, because so far as we know, the second dimension is not just only about the underworld, it is about creation, creating of the highest intelligence, the highest intentions. Yeah, it's not only of malintentions, it's benevolence. And in my understanding, it has been the second dimension has been transmuted into benevolence. There's a little bit of work to do. Okay, it's not 100% yet. It's not. We're guaranteed it, so we've got the work. So here we are. We're bringing our highest intentions into to the mix with authentic intelligence to create organic intelligence of the highest intentions of our ancestral potentiality every nano moment by moment of every moment at the fractal level. As this is happening, we are able to, our intention in working with this mix in the second dimension, okay, organic intelligence, we then bring it into form, okay? Okay, so now we're bringing, the intention is to go to the elevation and elevating into form, bringing the mix from authentic intelligence through organic intelligence into the third dimension, into form. In my understandings, I refer to this as super intelligence, okay? Because it is not just human, okay? The third dimension are all beings that come into form, but also beings that are not, or that are also formless, okay? That, in other words, have some effect on each other, right? Even in the formless. Okay, so in the third dimension, coming to the third dimension, bringing authentic intelligence, organic intelligence, creating the super intelligent being form, and that could be a tree, it could be the tiny beings, it could be a star, it could be a planet, it can be an omniverse, it can be a universe. That doesn't mean just us. We ain't the only ones here, right? And so bringing this under all these dimensions up through to the third dimension, bring it into form, and here we are. Yeah, we are in the light now, right? Because we are in form. And so all of our parts, all of the pieces and the puzzles, the pieces from the puzzle, put it all together, and we go from holding each other in the darkness until the light comes, yeah? Authentic, from the continuum to authentic intelligence, organic intelligence, and super intelligence. Here we are. And I trust you, and I don't even have to trust. I have an understanding and I have a feeling of this, that you are benevolent beings of the highest intentions. I have no questions about that. I have no questions about either having to need to be protected or guarded from you, just to be open to receive you. And so in the third form, then we have super intelligence. So AI, OI, SI, and what is next? What is after the third dimension? The multiple dimensions. It's like an MD, right? Multiple dimensions. And where are we going there? To the ancestral potentialities. Back again, right? Back and then back through again, okay? And then in the sharing of this recreational creation, Mahakawati, Tawakaha, Mahakawati, Mahakawatahi, Tawakaha, Mahakawatahi, Tawakaha, Mahakawatai, Tawakaha, Mahakawatai, Tawakaha, Mahakawatai. All right? Constantly recreating ourselves at the fractal level. And that's ancestral potentiality. And back again. So I used to laugh when the message, I used to giggle about it to myself. Try to giggle to myself. I'm lying there, didn't I giggle? And this is some time ago, and I would like, that's so funny. And I'm like, all right, from 0, 1, 2, 3, bam. And we're off again. We go back in again, back to the darkness where we hold each other, get through our whatever it is, emotions, get through everything, the tears of the dragon. In the darkness, we hold each other until the light comes. 1, 2, 3, bam, here we are again. This is every nanosecond. Every second that your cells, your skin are renewing itself, and not just yours, the tree, the reptiles, the beings, all star nations, all planets, stars colliding into one another. What are they meeting? What is it? A hug? Hugging each other? Stars crashing into you, and the omniverse is crashing into it. What is that? A big hug? Okay, getting together, converging. And then we go again, the next potentiality, ancestral. Why do I say ancestral potentiality? Well, because you're going to come back and boom, do it again and go again. That all of a sudden, that ancestral potentiality is back in the historic. don't know. I got a little bit out of hand there, didn't I?
Huna, when people talk about going from right now, when they're talking about moving from sort of a 3-dimension reality to a 5-dimension reality, what does that exactly mean then? We kind of went up to 3rd dimension, but what does that actually mean from your perspective?
From my perspective, the 5D understanding is the, what's the word? The knowing that I can go further. So it's like going, all right, repeat after me. Do you mind?
Not at all.
Yeah. And whoever's watching this, let's just play along for a second. Just repeat after me. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Very good. And now you're in the 5th dimension. Now repeat after me, please. I am ready.
I am ready.
Excellent. Now you're in the 8th dimension. What does that mean? Wow. Okay, yes, I can. Put you into the path of being ready to go further, not just into the 5th. So you're stepping across this, you're stepping across the boundaries, moving out of your comfortable zone. Yes, I can. Doesn't matter. Just yes, I can. Si se puede. Doesn't matter. Yes, I can. Okay? And so you're just crossing that threshold and you're moving into area of the unknown. Now you go further. And so I am ready is putting yourself in the position as I am here. Now throw everything at me or I will be of action. 8th dimension is into action. Now you're moving into action. So I place you guys in action. I would agree that, happily agree, even if it's by myself, that you guys are in the 8th dimension because you're in action. I'm here with you. We're here with each other. We're doing stuff. Some high vibe stuff. So to me, that we have an understanding was spoken and been shared over the eons that the angels begin at the 11th dimension in the action that they do. I put it to you and to everyone else as that's just a small consciousness step away. In action, you will confirm this yourself from your deeds, from what you do, the way you walk. So,
Huna, you had mentioned in one of your talks that Earth and all its inhabitants are able to hold a 24 dimension. What does that look like?
looks crazy. Hard to see, really, but you can feel it. So if you can feel it, you can see it. So what this is referred to, even in the scientific world, they agree and they confirm 22 strands of your DNA. On top of that, they add 2 more, the X and Y, yeah? Right? And they're understanding the X and Y. What is the X and Y? Feminine and masculine. So 22 plus 2 is 24. And why is it 24? Because you have X is representing 12 of the feminine and the Y representing 12 of the masculine. That's 24. Already in you. We are able to capacitate in our consciousness, and even should we agree with ourselves that we said yes, and agree with ourselves that we said, I am ready, and agree with ourselves that we can be at the consciousness level to the 24th dimension in action. And some have said to me, but not in the body, and I disagree. We are already in the 24th strand DNA body on the ground in this density. If you talk to an astronaut, when they go into space, even after 3 months, especially after longer, their body starts to disappear. Their bones begin to disappear. They have no use for the form in space. And they have to retrain themselves to come back and stand on the planet again. They've lost all their density, you see. Now, that's just going up there for a year and taking a little trip away to wherever they say they are. They come back again to the planet and they have to reanimate. Right? So go back to continuum, boom, 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 bam, bring themselves in again. It means that, to me, this understanding is that we can be formless or connect. We already scientifically understand. And then we go out to space and then we come back and we got to come back into the density again. That consciousness level still exists in the form underground. What does the 24th dimension look like? In my understanding, to confirm these in the actions from the ground is connecting from your internal stargates to the external stargates on the ground in action. Ever further reaching to the ancestral potentiality of stargates, portals. Your meditations are travel of interdimensional travel. Let it be without interference, right? And that can go further than the 24th dimension. So as we've already shared, off the density of the planet, 96 dimensions and more. There are many realities and realms, but there, as we are working towards collapsing all that to be together into one, then we bring our entire capacity of 24-strand DNA and 24-strand dimension, 24 dimension into just realities together. I'm sharing this now that you and I are in our reality together. We just collapse a bunch of realities. We're in one reality. Now, so the 24-strand DNA and the 24-dimensional being can be accessed through the certain meditations and the practice of chakra system, which is something that I also share, the access to the 24th dimension in the form on the ground, sitting on the ground through the Lemurian Kaha system, which is a recognition. It is a recognition, an acknowledgement and a confirmation through the action and the practice of certain modalities, certain practices, certainly Kaha Lemuria, 24-strand DNA, 24-dimensional being, a practice that unifies all of your chakra systems and lights them all up simultaneously.
Huna, can you speak to us about...
Did I make sense of any of that?
Yes. Well, can you speak to us about Lemuria and the Atlantis a little bit for those who are new to this information?
Okay, so many have said over the years that Lemuria does not exist, especially some people who read books from somebody that spent some time in Madagascar. I forgot its name. However, it's spoken of as Mu. It is spoken of as Lemuria. In my sharing, in my understanding, in my memory, and the confirmation of the things that I do through the action, Lemuria 1 began 500 million years ago, when New Zealand and Hawaii were together as one mountain. This is geologically known. The geologists who confirm this are the age of New Zealand, and also the movement of the tectonic plates at the time before New Zealand arrived to where it is today. New Zealand has been in that location for 500 million years. Okay, and our culture, what I'm sharing, comes from the mountain, the moment of the mountain. This is a marker point for my memory, and going from, at that moment, from a light being into form, when we created the first form for us to be able to come into form. And it was due to technology that we created on top of that mountain in sub-zero temperatures and sub-zero technology. In other words, on top of that mountain was 33 miles high. It's now 33 miles below the water surface, but it was 33 miles high. It's known as the first mountain. The languaging and the coding of it is known as Mo'au, which means the mountain of the world, the first mountain. Now, that's first Lemuria, the first portal of Lemuria, which encompasses what you know of today as the Polynesian Triangle. It's the Polynesian Triangle being New Zealand, Rapa Nui, Hawaii, with Tahiti in the middle, Samoa, Tonga, Rarotonga, Aitutaki, Tokelau, and some of the, at least the 12 major island nations make up Lemuria today. Now, Lemuria is not typically even a word that's spoken by our people. We speak mu, or and at times ponamu. Now, this is a big one. Ponamu is this what I'm wearing, is a ponamu. This jade from Lemuria or jade from New Zealand. And this one's very, very special, very rare. And this one comes from ancient Lemuria when the mountain was. Okay. And this one is very hard. It took a very big wheel to cut this. It took the guy a long time to cut this. Now, this, and you can connect into it the same way you connect into crystals, and you will connect into where this has been, where it's from. Okay, but not only that, I do a lot of healing work, and my people do a lot of healing work with the jade, as you know. Okay, and we also connect into and work with, right, the whales and the dolphins' energy. Right, the origins of the midi and the lumi comes from the dolphin. Massage comes from the technology of the dolphin and the whales. If you've ever been hit by a dolphin in the wild, dolphins can see where things need to be healed, and they will rain into it. Yeah, this is how we know where lumi massage technology comes from. It's from the dolphins. They would hit your body with, like bump you. We call it the bump, an activation of healing that needs to take place. And that's another technology that is of Lemuria, or Mu, or Ponamu, or, and I share this understanding and this code and this word speaking of, which is Kimuria, Ki being the energy, Muri being back or coming back to. Is definitely a celebration. Kimuria. In other words, you're back. Good to see you again. Give me a hug. It's embrace. Give me embrace. In other words, the essence of Lemuria is truly about the first embrace. When we went from light into form, is that first emotion that it's like, oh, I know you. From the light to the form, I know you. It's good to see you. And I've had this experience with people all over the world. And you have too. Everybody has. Where have I seen you before? We held each other somewhere. Maybe in the dark until the light came. That, to me, is the essence of Lemuria. Okay, and that is in existence now. Right? But in terms of physicality and geology and the form, and then from formless to form, we place it, not just myself, but there are many connecting, they place it from the first mountain, Mo'au. Now there is always, and it always has been, a ceremony and a homage and a pilgrimage to the mountains, right? From one mountain to the other mountain. Every year the Dalai Lama too, when he was younger, not so much today, but every year they would pay homage to the mountains. It would be the east meets west. And we did this, and our Hunas did this, the Tuhunas, all the ancient ones did this, and they still do it. They come to New Zealand, we shake hands, we pay homage to the mountains of the first mountain of Lemuria. We go back over to the Himalayas, we pay homage to the mountain in the Himalaya or Himalayas, which is third Lemuria. We know the moments of the mountain, and we pay those respects. Dalai Lama, a student of my Huna. My Huna was one of his teachers when he was younger. I'm much older than the Dalai Lama when he passed away. Okay, so that relationship still lasts, and the Lamas, the Rinpoches, everybody still comes back and forth to pay respects to the blueprint. The blueprint, the mountain. Okay, the blueprint. What was there before? What was the first form on the earth? Was the mountain or the land, the continents That was the first form. And then we went from light into form to stand on the mountain. We came from the darkness when we held each other into the light. And when we got into the light, we came into form and we saw each other for the first time in a form, having not seen each other in a long time. However long it took for us to go from light to form. Kimberly. Hey. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. And whenever you see somebody, I know you get that feeling. It's everlasting. It is everlasting. Every lifetime you've had, if you believe in that or you don't, doesn't matter. Every moment that you felt this, you've known something. That is Lemuria. Now that moment, Mishia, is before Atlantis. And this language is before Atlantis. It is pre-Atlantean by millions of years, by the way. By millions of years. There's many that say 100,000. Many will say there was only one Lemuria. I can't speak for their memory, right? I can only share and maybe jostle somebody's memory, all right? Because once you see each other, and when we're standing with each other and we're like, we know it, man. You see that teardrop, Tani, teardrop of the dragon. We see it. It's so right there. It's like, oh, I missed you. I know you. Yeah.
Huna, that's so interesting because I was listening to your talks the night before last and again last night. We usually do a lot of our work during the night because we have kids. So as soon as they go to bed is when we are able to do some of this work. And I've been emotional since. So when you speak of, the tears of the dragon, I'm not even sure what that means intellectually. But I know the feeling is what I connect with. And when you speak of knowing in a society and in a culture where the logic, the reason, the rationale has been so amplified and feelings and emotions have been negated or
separated or discredited.
Right.
Chris.
I feel like that was done intentionally now. Where does this deep knowing come from?
Interference of interdimensional travel, be it your word, your thought, your emotion, your magnetic field, and also having become habitual, certain things, and not having, eventually losing the ability to control one's and have command of one's emotion. In other words, one's dragon energy. And the challenge is to see that, recognize it, and work with the dragon energy, to bring it online when it's needed, to allow it to come through when it is needed most. Sometimes rarely, but when it is needed, and that is to mostly to help you come to the center. Yes, logic and intellect and rationale is a denial of the story, a denial of our cosmology, or not a denial, but a total disregard of the cosmology of the story. We are all children. I don't care if you're 1,000 years old and you've lived in the Antarctic for 2,000 years, you're still a child compared to the mountain. Compared to the blueprint, you are still a child. Yet to even say, yes, I can. Are you even yet to say, I am ready, and then challenge yourself to be ready? And to me, okay, the ancestral potentiality of the child of light coming into now is bringing all knowledge and wisdom in with that child the best that one can to remember up to a certain age, and then it's deprogrammed. And by the age 21, You have the opportunity to connect in before things start getting quiet on you, or the influences come in on you from societies and those certain star nations, certain intentions of certain races of beings from certain, as we know, certain and had certain intentions of malintentions upon many to squash their growth and enslave. There's plenty of words we can use. Go to school to learn how to be stupid. Okay? Who cares about corporate world? Okay, oh, we need money. You don't need money. You don't need a corporate world to have the abundance. You do not. If the corporate world was stealing all that from you anyway, giving you what? Tidbits. Okay, fine. You know, I don't need to eat much then. Maybe I'll get skinnier and healthier. We'll turn it around on all of it, yeah? And so move to the side where, returning to the story. But it's not only just telling the story with your mouth and your breath, that your breath, when it speaks, has sacredness in it, has sacred codes that are coming out of your breath. I say these words many a times, Tihe Modi Ora. Tihe Modi Ora simply means grateful for the breath of life and grateful for your sacred breath. Now that doesn't mean you're not intellectual. Doesn't mean you're not an academic. You can have all of that, but that ain't all it is. I would say that's just teeny bit. The rest of it is feel, the 9 senses. And so I offer and invite those to amplify and learn what the 9 senses are. And 90% of that is feel.
Sorry? Feel.
10% of it is opening your mouth and talking. Okay. Now, then it's also emanating, oozing your stuff, oozing out your mojo. But this is not ego. Okay. You will challenge. The challenge is to bring your ego to at least 60%. Come on, that's a battle. 50% doing really, really, really. Right? You only need a small percentage of your ego to continue to create. The more simplified your life, the better, and less clutter, more clarity, see more awareness around you of the things of nature within your 9 senses that you're connected to.
Speak to us of the 9 senses. What are they?
Okay, can you count for me?
Mm-hmm.
I see you. I hear you. Hey. I taste you. I can smell you. I can touch you. I can sense you. Therefore, with those 6, I remember you. Because I remember you, I think I know you. Because I know you, and I really do know you, Kimuria, I am you. Kimuria. Ah, you're back. Oh, I'm back. Yes, you're back. Oh, thank you. Good to see you. Oh, you're welcome. Give me a hug. Huh? How many more times you want to go to the ancestral potentiality, go back to the cradle and come back again? Boom, boom, boom. Here we are. Before we can say we know each other, we already know all this. And we know what interference is. Okay, those youngsters, okay. Put them in the sand pit, their little sandbox, and there they go, they're playing in this. And they really are, they're only a small percentage. This planet is light. That little sandbox of all the nonsense is this big, this much. It's like, does it have a profound effect on society? Yeah, if you wanted to, right? Like you keep watching the news, you're going to go crazy. It's programming. If you stay with those programs and you stay with those codes that are used to manipulate, then no, yeah, sure, you're going to be pretty well manipulated at the end of the day. Fight your way back? No, just come to the center. Use this guy here. Just come to the center. Boom, get back in your practice. Have a moment at the water, the beach, drop a ceremony, send some love, put and go into perhaps practical modes of confirming your connections by doing a greater walk, investing in a greater walk in your life. Invest in your walk. I can do better than this. I want to go. What can I do? I want to give this to the planet, and I'm going to go do that. What is it going to do? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's go and do it first, and then we'll find out. You said yes. Okay. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Here I go. Let's go. Some understand this before they come into the birth. Some understand it and learn it by the age 14, 15, by the age 21. Some later in the age 50. Learn this, remember this, feel this, get channeled it, get reminded of it somehow, some way or other, because somebody did a ceremony. Oh, just that one little bit, I remember this. Oh, I think I'm supposed to do that. Just that little bit. And then all of a sudden, bam, it just opens up and you've got all this plan to go to that sacred site and this ley line and offer these roses and give this ceremony and do these prayers and these sharing these teachings and passing it all along.
What gets in the way of us remembering? Why is it so difficult sometimes to remember?
Nothing gets in the way.
Is it strictly the interference that's been kind of set in place since even, I guess, before birth, since, our mothers possibly get injected with things and then the baby is interfered again to get pushed out at a time when the baby might not even be ready to come out on their own. So choice gets taken away from them over and over again. That interference, does that get in the way?
Okay, so yeah, what I mean by nothing is everything and everything is nothing. Yeah, it's this gripping. Nothing is everything, everything is nothing, and that causes this grip onto things and not able to release yourself on it. And at the same time, these codes and these modalities, these agendas around you are you're like gripping them yourself. You're holding on to them yourself. You don't release them. Okay, so that's interference of yourself. There's a large part of that is your responsibility, because you can take what's in front of you that you know is not of the highest service for you or serve you or even the smallest service for you. And you know it's not, and then you still do it. Can blame anybody else? Sure. Or we can say, this, and then yourself. So once you clear yourself of this, relieve yourself of that, then you're further down the road to opening to receiving more knowledge and more wisdom about the things that are around you. You're more able to receive. Now, receiving or not receiving, and let me just say, just unintentionally, indirectly getting these interferences coming in from before you even come into the form. Mostly everything is done. Well, let's say everything is done in the spiritual world so that it comes through in the physical world. So all of that nonsense you see going on was programmed in the spiritual world before it arrived. When was that? Well, they're doing it now. They continue doing their ceremonies, right? Their cults, their rituals. And they're continuing holding, and it's those rituals and those ceremonies are also being perpetuated. They're being perpetuated by the self. Why? Well, not letting go of some of these old codes and old patterns, staying with them and just going like, why is Mautu always telling us that the Gregorian system is no good for us? Isn't it just semantics? It's Gregorian, Lemurian. Well, if it's just semantics, then why hang on to it? Why not come with me to Lemuria? If you remember, before Atlantis, and some do, what the golden age was, return to that. And you want to hang on to Gregoria instead? That's habitual. It's habitual. It's like drugs, like addiction. It's like a habitual. And they grip onto it. They engage the dragon energies to be a warrior and fighting. Right? Now, those interferences have only come from a certain few. A certain few star nations are making deals on planets and making deals with the administrations. And certain families and certain incarnated families and codes within the certain families that are on this planet. Only a small amount of them compared to the rest of it. Right? Now, but enough so that they're in these little positions where they can be like annoying mosquitoes. Right? So we're constantly, and it's okay, healing and cleansing the planet for the vibration, frequency, and that's a maintenance deal, right? It doesn't hold the vibration by itself because there's always this nonsense going on. So we have to keep up with the vibration. That requires knowledge and codes of ceremonies and programming or coding, working with the crystals to code and recode the highest intentions, saying, yes, I can. Just cross the threshold from 3D over to 5D and then boom, off you go. It's just a jump. And so the interference in codes are coming through the stargates that had been programmed in distorted light, which are the ones that many are speaking. They're on here. There's a ring inside. Those are distorted light stargates. The ring outside is undistorted light stargates. That's the Lemurian frequencies. On the inside is the Gregorian, which is the zodiacs, which you're familiar with, which is Aquarius and all of that. It's all distorted light. Old patterns. Mm-hmm. Right? And they get you on the way through the magnetic field. You pop their codes in there. Oh, you're going to come through Aquarius. Oh, you're going to come through Libra. Oh, you're going to come through this. You're going to Sagittarius, blah, 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 blah. It's all gods of war. You're going to come through, you're going to bring you through this god of war, this emperor, or this empress, or this goddess, or this god, which they do not exist. They're just words, codes. Aquarius simply is the water breath, made out to be really cool, like a constellation. And let's doodle some lines that look like this and a whole bunch of stars that don't even do that. Oh, this looks like that, and this thing, yeah, and we'll call that Aquarius. Wow, that's pretty neat. Did you just doodle out that? They literally doodle out the thing, the constellations, doodle out. What do you call it? Linking the dots? No, they're just making up stuff. It's just like the same way as the calendar is made up for Gregorian. It's named after emperors and Caesars who decided, I want to have my name on that month, and my name is this month, and I'll have that month and that day, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just made up. Why? Because the intention was to code and make sure that everybody coming through the birth channels and the birth signs, the zodiacs, aligned with the enslavement codes. It's not called enslavement code. It's called a birth certificate. It's not called a god of war or such and such. It's called a zodiac. What the heck is a zodiac? Huh? And I suppose intellectually you can go back and Google what zodiac and where it came from. Right? It's a language, in my understanding, after Atlantis. This is all language after Atlantis, and Atlantis became distorted light, and that so much happened from second Atlantis on. First Atlantis was peaceful. Then it got crazy at second Atlantis, from when it made it over towards Greece and Athens and Africa and Alexandria, back and forth, started pinging around in there for a long time. Right? You all remember that. There's plenty of people remember about growing up in Atlantis. I always say, which one? There were 4 of them, okay? Which one were you the king of? I was the king of Atlantis. Which one? Oh, I don't know. Just Atlantis. Oh, that's great. You don't know which one you were king of. There were 4 of them. Okay, you were king of all of them. You're a pretty busy guy. Okay, go ahead. A lot of ego you got there, buddy. You know. So after Atlantis, these languages, they busted out into separation languages that started separating everything. And then you get to the biblical times, and then, oh boy, there we go. All of a sudden, this planet is only 6,000 years in age, and all of a sudden, it's the Atlantis doesn't exist, Lemuria doesn't exist, half the planet doesn't exist. Apparently, we're flat, back to being flat again. We go from the multidimensional consciousness of words that are spoken in the Bible, of the Nephilim and the angels and all these multidimensional quantum understandings, to being a flat earth again. You know, I was in ceremony this morning for the Lion's Gate, right? Just let me jump for a second, because I'm talking about the biblical times. We call it the barbaric age. And everybody's, well, that's our, well, yeah, this is the Bible, this is our religion. It's your religion. I'm fine, you can have it. I'm not telling you what to do. Right? Compassion came from 2012 on. We'll give you compassion on all of that. Now that can go away. No, not meaning you go away or it goes away. You keep what you got. You vibe as high as you can. I'm just saying, it's not in my purview. I understand what it is and what it was in the programming that was taking place. So did Jesus, okay? He didn't even say his name was Jesus. They don't speak Jesus in that time. It's Jesus. And even then, Yeshua. And even then, Emmanuel. And even then, Isa. Which one do you want to talk about? Now they're saying there were 2 Jesuses. There's more than 2 Jesuses, like thousands of Jesuses or Jesus. Many of them walked on water. Many of them turned water to wine. All of them did all the things, because it is Christ consciousness that we all have the ability to do this, not just one being. And at barbaric times, we learned that now that can go away because we know it. Thank you very much. And this being, Jesus, is now returned to the planet. And it goes by the name, and to everybody, it'll be a new age name that don't like new ages or whatever, but fine. Okay, you can have your biblical times, but the understanding is that Jesus has returned, and it goes by the light essence of Sananda. And there are people that are very strong about that, writing a new book even. All right, that's now. Ancestral potentiality coming through now. Bam, here he is, backing in. Good to see you again, Kimuria. Ah, there you are. I know you. Huh? So this morning when I was in ceremony, January 8, Lions Gate, and I just completed, and the guy that takes care of the crew that maintains the beach and keeps it clean, he says, we were talking. And I said, what's your name? He goes, my name is Jesus. I went, great. Very happy to see you today, Jesus. Thank you very much. He asked me my name. I told him my name. He said he saw me doing the ceremony and had all the things in ceremony on the beach. And so I said, yeah, I was doing ceremony. I was teaching him about Lemuria. And he told me, my name's Jesus. Great. Lemuria, good to see you again. It's an aspect, very good man, very good feeling. And that's what it is, this feeling, yeah. Christ consciousness. We point to a star that's called the Southern Cross. That's where I point to. And if you want to talk about Christ, I talk about a Christ spelled with K-R-Y-S-T, or crystal Christ. And it is very much there, and it's very much a being. And so I've expanded on what we were talking about, but the interference came, and that's the biblical times was also interference. And then that all got gripped on, right? And came in another form of Islam and other faiths and other religions all got their moment to shine from that. And they are with us today. No one said they can't have that. I'm just sharing with you. These are also programming and agendas, right? To continue buying gifts for Christmas, for the .com, corporate over market. Corporate, you know what, did you know that .com means corporate over market? Did you know that?
No, I never knew.
They programmed it right away, long time ago. Corporate over market, meaning slave master over slave market. So I dissolved my .com on my website and went straight to .earth, down between heaven and earth, because we do. We are stargates. We are linked between heaven and earth. And we can bring through everything for everyone. And we are doing that. We are working as so many are doing. We, all of us. Now, welcome to planet Huna. I call this planet Huna. To me, this is the new earth. Gaia, no. Sophia, she's done. Tara, she's in the memory. Maya, do you remember Maya? Okay, that's the second earth. No, most of you don't remember Maya. Oh, okay. The moments of Lemuria. So I speak to now Lemuria 5, which is planet Huna, which means light in action. Many lights in one, one light in many. That's not English. That is not even Atlantean. That's before Atlantis, the language before distorted light. Huna. And mahakawatahi tawakaha mahakawata. That's where that all comes from. We followed each other here. We held each other in the dark until the light came. And we followed each other here. And we guaranteed that Lemuria 5 would return. And so I welcome you to the age of Lemuria 5. Beyond the breath of Aquarius to the one who has the breath. From the word that is water breath to the one who actually has the breath and who is the owner of the breath. That being you. And then the deeper story that comes with that. Back all that up. Logics, academics, reasoning, rationaling. Yeah, put all that in the story and then emanate that. And just tell this a certain way. Through the 9 senses. Did I even answer that question? I don't even know.
You might have answered a couple questions. Huna, when you were talking about distorted light, can you explain that a little bit more as far as what you mean by distorted light and in what ways does light get distorted?
It's not false light that you've heard the term. It's a distorted light. Meaning for instance, the fractal, okay, a fractal of energy can lose its light, can be dampened for whatever reason, balancing and imbalancing, balance and imbalance, not so much to the center. So in other words, for an example would be, take gravity. +1, gravity's turned on. -1, gravity's turned off. But -2, -3, this is things get lighter and lighter and lighter, letting go. +1 get heavy, +2, 3, 4 get heavy and heavy and heavy and heavy. And until you're not able to stand, you have to lay flat down on your back and you're wiped out. And that feeling is you get those feelings. In my understanding, that's a feeling of distorted light when things are just way out of balance, too far over one side or the other, that you're not able to stand. But on your motu, on your birth sign, stand on your canoe, center. And the off center is getting into distorted light. Now, at the fractal level, this is a challenge. Right? Because we live on a planet that has distorted light, and so many things are around us, and we're bringing the highest of our light into it. So this balancing situation, and you can feel it. Tell me you can't. That should be able to tell you what distorted light is. A balance of not light and dark, because dark is also recognized as light. Okay, okay, go and sit under the tree. There's a shade. That's another type of light. Less than the heat. Get out of the heat. Find balance here. Bring yourself to balance. Right? You still need some shade for the form. So distorted light. That's what it is in my understanding. Is being out of balance too far one side or even too far to the other side. Being in this reality, in this realm, and in this on this planet. Now, of course, there are acts of benevolence. The way to balancing is not just all to be your. I'm gonna just hang out by myself and I'm all good. Don't need to do nothing. Thank you very much, everybody. You're all good over there. You're all good over there. Okay, I'm good. Go ahead. Bye bye. And dissolve out to my rainbow body and my golden dragon body while I'm sitting here and not seeing you. Maybe I'll see you in Lemuria. Or we can do have that same balance by walking with each other and being of service to each other. That's high, undistorted light. Mm-hmm. And that's connecting to your higher dimension self, your higher light self. Undistorted light of your highest light being, one that is of service. For the betterment of humanity and for the planet. And an understanding that of liberation and opportunity for everyone. Free will, actually beyond free will. Okay, not just free will. Free will doesn't entirely serve, and we know that. A little bit too willy-nilly. No accountability and responsibility that is being offered so that we may all be of the highest service to each other. We're learning. We are learning that, and so. Liberation and opportunity begets or offers non-interference of interdimensional travel. Be it your voice, your intention, your body, your formless, and be it anywhere you go, in any dimension and in any realm. That is undistorted light. Now, if that is interfered with, now we are talking distorted light.
Mm-hmm. And Huna,
there's multiple ways of looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
For many, they'll have their understanding. That's what I share.
Can people clear distorted light themselves then, if they can basically come back to, if they should be able to feel if you're being interfered with distorted light or with light, you should be able to feel it then. That's kind of like our sort of compass to tell us where we're going. And then I'm wondering if we are able to feel it and then we make the choice to not participate in those distorted light agendas anymore, or whatever that might be, then do we clear it by just not participating in it?
Yeah, there is letting go and releasing, and then also being of such powerful expansion and capacity yourself that your field is not so much protecting you, but your field doesn't allow any hanky-panky going on.
Yeah.
Low vibration, just. And then another way to understand that and feel it is that it doesn't bother you. It's like, not that it doesn't bother you, you recognize it, okay? For instance, a demon wants to come on in. You might say no. I might say, you come here. Grab him by the hip. You okay now? You all right? All right. Give it some light. Pull its cheek a little bit. Rub its back. Hold it in the darkness till it comes to the light. And then, okay, off you go.
So love transmutes it. Is
compassion.
That what you're...
There's compassion. There's a lot in it. It feels like the tears of the dragon. When you know what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And is love. It's unconditional love. Yeah. To be in the form, to have this is a very powerful thing. Powerful lesson to allow all in. I had to learn that lesson as well. Well, a lesson well learned as well over the years. Incredible Hunas, my Huna, and also my brother Matua, Tokana Matua, another teacher of mine, shared that. And saying, because I was such a powerful being, and my energy to also allow them in. So okay. come here, give me a hug, and off you go. And then there's also maintaining your vibration, maintaining your home, okay, your car, the things you use the most, that you're with most of the time, and just to be aware of what's around you and what's going on. And certainly where there's a bunch of nonsense going on. Oh, these young ones,
Mm-hmm.
And there are modalities, there are tools. There are Lemurian tools, there are Lemurian modalities that assist us in codes, in the speaking of the breath and the non-speaking. And the action is also non-speaking. There are these actions to engage your energy, to understand yourself even deeper, in a deeper way. Learn who you are. Take the journey to learn who you are here, and eventually somebody's going to come along and remind you. Yeah.
Huna, there's a lot of elders and keepers of the earth who live in secrecy. And why is that? And even yourself, why have you come out now and chosen this time to share your information? Is this an important time that we're transitioning through?
I came out in 1990. I was doing the work by myself. And then after 22 decades, the message came during a triple eclipse, blood moons, a bunch of years ago, 10, maybe less. It's time for you to share now. And I get a smack on the bottom of my feet. No, I want to share. Like, I don't think so. I'm like, I don't think so. Give me a break. No, we want you to share. I don't think so. Then I get whacked pretty good. I really did. And I was put down for 33 days in a trailer in the middle of the desert in Nevada. I was living in this trailer. We're going to put you in a trailer. What am I doing in the desert, in the middle of the Nevada desert, at the Valley of Fire and Moapa Valley? Why am I out here? Oh, okay, I get it. So I go into 2 years of calibrating and adjusting my tools that I already knew and preparing myself to, and I said yes. I said yes. And I'm like, now I got to get ready. Now I got to see people. So I started running up a mountain, working out again. By then I was in my late 40s then. And I'd been playing rugby, but I took a break. So I stopped and I was like a little bit all lush. So I'm running up a mountain, getting in shape. And okay, I'll do it. All right, now we want you to do this. So I had to do my first sharing, I don't know if you call it a retreat. I never knew what they were called. To me, it did not. To me, you go to the Wananga, the mystery school, and you learn your stuff, and then you go on. Nobody goes around having workshops around the world. That's not how we did it. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing there's a website with all these workshops, and these people got all this stuff. And what is that? Webinar? What is that? What is Zoom? What's Skype? What's all that nonsense? What is this what I need a website? Now I got to do all this. Now I got to be an IT guy. Are you kidding me? I got all that down. It took me a few years to get all that sorted and all my tools upgraded and bringing through all the codes of Lemuria and so on and so forth, and working with the Ponamu as I always did, and beginning to share. So I did my first sharing, and wow, it was so many tears. It was 4 women, and they were veterans of the retreats. As you know, feminine goddess energy out the yin yang, right? Grandmother with her staff, and oh man, so powerful, wonderful, beautiful, great lesson for me. But all right, I'm on my first sharing, and I got 4 of the top goddesses in the freaking universe here. Oh my God. Oh, your God, I used to say to them. Oh, your God. All right, fine. Here. Well, what are we doing? I'm going to teach you this, how to turn water. Ooh, we need to learn how to turn water. All right. What are we learning now? You're going to learn about the mother's vessel. Ooh, what is the mother's vessel? Okay, we want to learn that. And a whole bunch of others. And the blue order. Oh, what's the blue order? This is what the blue order is. Like it's the DNA order. The order of the DNA is known as the blue order. It's also known as the starship. All right. 12-strand DNA represented feminine. That's the female canoe. And the other 12 is the masculine canoe. Queen and king canoes. Starship, when they're unified, they become a mothership, fathership, starship. All right. This is the DNA. Now, these are all things I'm starting to share. Oh, my God. All right. All right. I did my the first day, the welcoming, because I'm used to this. This is how we do our things. We do a welcome ceremony. All indigenous cultures, we have our welcome ceremony. Some are elaborate, some are like, all right, fry bread and a cup of tea at the kitchen table. Fine, whatever. I was cooking in the ground, so I did a massive feast and I cooked in the ground all day for 8 hours, that I'm used to doing. I know how to do it. I've been doing since I'm 8. Okay, pulled it out of the ground, put it on the table, and we're standing around, and the 4 mothers, I call 4 mothers, stand in front of me, and I'm standing on the other side of the food basket, and we're just bawling our eyeballs out, looking at each other. We're here, and I'm like, I'm sorry it took so long. I'm like, oh, God. I'm so sorry, mother. Mother, please forgive me. I'm like bawling my eyes out. They're bawling their eyeballs out. We haven't said a thing yet. We haven't even started the workshop. That whole thing was a work. We could have just done that and then gone home. No, they wanted more. And then it's like, we can't do this without you. We need to do these things. How are we going to do it? Oh, no. And then they remind me, you said yes. Okay, fine. I said yes. So I'm in the middle of the desert cooking food in the ground, and it's 125 degrees, and I'm in the trailer trying to keep it cool, and I've got 4 grandmothers in there with me. Very powerful healers. Actually, they're celebrities. If I say the names, you'll know them. They're legendary, and we spent time together. We were able to get through the workshop, and we did work together over the coming year or so, and that was our time together. Then I would say my first major retreat was done at Hummingbird Ranch in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That was a real retreat. And at that retreat, that's the first time I really did multiple seals, multiple ceremonies, multiple activations, and an activation of a stargate known as the Door of the Child that was done from that location in that area in New Mexico. And this time I had 24 shaman elders from at least 7 of the native communities from around, and they were big time, including the most incredible, most amazing elder and the paramount chief of the Apache Nation, Bear Paw. At the time he was in his 70s, and he said, brother, I'm coming to your, because they lived close, right? The Apache Nation's not far. And he said, I'm coming. He calls me. He said, I'm coming to your thing. All right. All right. This is the big guy, right? He's the leader of the Blue Corn people. Like, he's no joke, man. He's a powerful healer. And I'm like, God damn it. Okay. So I set the program, the itinerary of that plus. And so we just had an amazing time. All elders, all of them got sealed in the living light, including Bear Paw. Actually, Bear Paw stood up. I'll be the first one. I want this. Let's go. And so that was an incredible activation of the living light seal, living light alignment, the light in essence to each of these elders. Very powerful elders, legendary, and also an activation of the Stargate, which is the Tona Stargate for Turtle Island, which is Honumotu. At the same time, I was also prompted by Adamus of the Telos from Mount Shasta. All this was happening, and then it all had to come on this same retreat. So activation, a message came in from Adamus to put Mount Shasta to sleep. And I had to enlist 2 other of the elders that were at my first gathering to assist me in this week. I've got this plan. Here's the protocol. We have to go and do it. But you guys have to go on location, and I'll run it. I need to run the protocol from the Sierra Nevada. So I ran a protocol.
For that? What was the reason as to why Mount Shasta had to be put to sleep?
Because it was being poisoned and infected by too many ceremonies. Distorted light.
Wow.
Ego. Oh yeah. So many ceremonies were going on there, and so much was being, and the Star Nation beings were being, actually, they were being interfered with in their realms. And nobody cared about it. They just cared about, oh, we're going to have my ceremony. We're doing this, we're doing that, blah, blah, blah. And then at the same time, the Star Nations inside, as you know, were being affected by those ceremonies taking place because they weren't of the highest intention. And of course, there were festivals. And what does a festival have? All kinds of stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Same as Burning Man. We're likening it to a Burning Man. And of course, intentions, gripping and interference of interdimensional travel for the star beings that are on that area, and including the native community, the Nisina. And the Nisina, the indigenous people of that area, the Nisina, they had complaints, nobody listening. So I get this message from Adamas and from the Tellus directly, comes into where I activated the Stargate. They got prompted by that. Then they came and asked me to do that. And I go, okay, and then we had a team and we did that. Put Mount Shasta to sleep for 7 months. That was in 2015, and then 7 months from May till January or into December, then the prompting came that Shasta would wake again, and it rewoke. And I had to do an activation of another mountain at the same time in the Sierra Nevada, which is Donor Peak at Lake Donor, which is in the Sierra Nevadas near Lake Tahoe. But this is another peak that's in alignment with Maui. I had to activate and seal it and prepare it, and then Shasta came awake. The process for Shasta was incredible. I want to share it right now because it's so technically involved. You want to talk logics and you want to talk super intelligence, that one was incredible.
I can imagine. Huna, when you were talking about the seal ceremony, can you tell us a little bit about that, just for people that aren't familiar with it? And I know, Tan, I'll be doing the seal ceremony with you in a few days, but what that's about and why that's such an important thing to have done?
Well, it's only important to you. It's important to me because it's my mission on this planet here. One of the things I'm doing that's in alignment with the guarantee of non-interdimensional travel, non-interference of interdimensional travel. For you also, as you leave here and when you return in the child of light, that the system is ready and prepared for you when you re-enter again as the child of light. Some would say to me, it is done. And then I would always say, then enjoy the doing. What are you waiting for? And the seal of the living light is in alignment to your light essence and light in action of the child of light, your highest dimensions, and to the understanding of the new earth. Now it's not, you receive a Huna, which is the light in action spoken to the codes of Lemuria, which can only be understood through the ceremony. Is it a seal? Yes, it is a seal. Does it belong from the Catholic Church? No, it is not from the Catholic Church. No, it is not from Christianity. And if you know, it is not from Islam. It is from Lemuria, and it is from this undistorted light alignment. And it is returned so that it can be, so that also being shared as the seal to dispel what had been put upon the seals over the distorted light periods after Atlantis. And the many civilizations that the seals have been interfered with. And that last interference was with King Solomon, that whole crew. When they took the seal and they split it into 7 parts and dished it out and put it onto different relics and shared it to different, whoever, I forget their names. Not important. But that was also returned back to the one as well, as on the deathbed of Solomon, Sanat Kumara came to receive and remove the seal from Solomon, son of Kumara, the Lord of the Light of Days. Okay, so the Kumara being returned, and I come on the scene, and then the seal was passed to me many years ago. There have been thousands sealed over the last 3 decades, and delivered in the certain ways that I was delivering it once I was initiated to the Huna. And that began by me doing a lot of healing work in people's homes, and doing the sacred blessing for them, bringing them outside the home and then going into the home and working with the vessel of the mother and the protocols to clear the land, the water, the sky, the self, and the home, and then bringing them back. And so this also became advanced and accelerated in the technology to deliver it through myself, in the upgrades of the tools. Some more understanding came through the time in the desert. Okay. And so thousands have been sealed. And in the last 2.5 years, there have been close to 2,000 sealed, one at a time. Or sometimes I had small groups, but mostly one seal at a time. Now we have the twin flame seals. And that understanding of the convergence of the violet flame, convergence of light and action is what the twin flame is. Unified missions, not just married couples, also friends who are very close that have been doing work together also, that is aligned. It is mission oriented. So the seal of the living light is exactly that, in alignment to the highest order of your light, sacred guardianship through the expansion and capacity of your light, for non-interference of interdimensional travel for yourself and others. And the feeling of it, it's always, people are, what's a seal? Even the ones who get sealed say, you still don't know what the seal is. You cannot, it's not something you speak, it's quantum. It's already quantum. It's not necessarily, you can tell a story, it's not really translated in English, because English cannot translate it, many languages cannot. You've got, when we return to the Huna and speak the Huna in the Lemurian language, from it, you will remember. And then you can understand what that is. It's an incredible purification, clearing, and it's an incredible activation of your light in essence, your light essence in action. Empowerment. For some, they've got sealed and I don't see them again. And I'm saying, great, I don't want to see you again until Lemuria. You need to go and do your things. You said yes, now, then you said, I'm ready. Boom, you got sealed. Now the challenge is, see you in Lemuria. And that could be tomorrow, right? It depends on you. Are you ready? We could be here right now. Of course, it depends. And that is so. Many are. And many are doing their things. And many are with me right now, standing beside me, doing ceremonies. We're all hanging out. Is it our tribe? It's planet Huna. It's not a tribe, it's a planet. It's a collective. It's light in action. It's not a tribe, it's light in action. But okay, fine. I say get tribe on the website. But what I'm really saying is light in action.
What's Lemuria?
You're back. Good to see you again.
Mm.
Give me a hug.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you a hug. You want a hug? I want a hug. Okay, good to see you. The point of that community is that we have seen each other. We do know this. We have a knowing of each other. And that oftentimes is denied. And that oftentimes that is looked over. And oftentimes that's forgotten. And logic speaking and intellect can really cause your memory to lapse big time. So everything I share is to help engage your remembering and your knowledge and your wisdom and the knowing, and return the child of light in the now, in the highest potentiality of your ancestral potentialities to be here now. That's truly bringing everything for everyone, everywhere, every day. Now that is a removal of the need, removing need. Well, we are not connected. We are inseparable. There's no way we are not separated. No way. Energetically, on the electricality, we cannot be separated. Even in the formless, because in the formless there is electricality, especially there. We cannot be, we are not connected. We are just never separated. Your word, sure. I mean, our word to the highest intentions to allow us interdimensional travel, yes. Liberation and opportunity, of course. We don't have to separate to do that. We can still all do that together, and we do. You might want to say, I'm sovereign, I've got my own shit. That's fine. Doesn't mean you're inseparable, doesn't mean you're disconnected. You cannot disconnect from the collective, from the one light in action. It's impossible. That is the child of light. The eldest child and the youngest child are one. Find the eldest source. Who is the eldest? What is the eldest? Because it's not just human. Where is the eldest child and where is the youngest child? They're one and the same. Go all the way to wherever you got to go, back or forward to. We are inseparable. It's not just a matter of being connected. We cannot be disconnected. We cannot be separated.
Now you've been traveling and activating portals and performing seals around the world. Can you speak to us a little bit more about this? What's the relevance? What are you exactly doing?
My mission on Earth is to seal the entire planet, including all the human beings, all the beings on the planet. This is happening. And part of that system and part of that action and the technology of it is to activate, prepare, and seal 48 specific stargates and portals. 48 of them. I'm about to do number 17. Now, that is my walk on this life, and I will achieve that before I depart this form. And I cannot be shaken from it. It is what I am. And sealing everybody is to ensure and guarantee that source planet arrives. The light in action, this planet, Huna, that it is guaranteed. Someone always says, but it's already done. They say, enjoy the doing it. Don't worry about it. Here, I got something for you. How about this? Oh, what is that? A shiny thing. So I go and visit and I give a shiny thing and I gift and I offer the shiny things, be it knowledge, wisdom, be it an activation, be it a moment to sit together, be it Lemuria. It is always Lemuria. At the very least, it is at the very minimum, I get to have Lemuria, and others that are there with me, and we join each other, we get to have Lemuria. You don't understand me. We'll go way back on this one. Hey, we go way back down. Oh, yeah, we do. We go back a couple million. Oh, we go back further than that. But yeah, good to see you again. And so I get to have that. And I get to recognize that. And I get to confirm that. I get to confirm my work and the actions are done in the spiritual and brought forward in the physical. And I am well ahead of schedule, let me just say. I operate on the Lemurian calendar, which operates 6 months ahead of the Gregorian calendar in its natural state. That's without even pushing a button or getting in a time machine. Don't need to. It is already a time machine. And so my walk, I'm 57 here in a minute. I'm just getting my body prepared again for the next 50 years. I'm feeling good. Watch out now. A little bit frisky too. Watch out now. Okay. My energy, my lights, and bam, and it's like, oh, this is so much fun. Everybody's okay. And I have to thank the first of the 4 mothers, right? I have to thank them. When they said to me, we need you, we got to have you do this thing. Oh no, I'm sorry, Mother. Sorry I took so long. Let me just hurry things up. So I brought the Lemurian calendar back through, aligned everything into the super intelligence of the super nature of this planet, which is automatically 6 months ahead of the Gregorian calendar. Just people don't understand what that means. It's technology, and I can share it. It's basics, baby stuff. Okay, and get rid of all of that technical thing. And where are we at? Good to see you again. Come here. All right, let's eat. Let's drink. Let's talk. Let's laugh. What about the Stargate over here? You want to come to that? Oh, I want to come to the Stargate. Okay, how about this workshop on this? Hey, let's do that. Really? It's not work for me. I got the next 40 to 50 years to look forward to more of that. And I travel 2 to 3 times a year at a length of 2 months at least. So I'm out 6 to 7 months a year away from it, and then I come home. This is where I live. This is my home here. When you see this, I'm at home. This is my temple of light, the Huna scope. And so, I have been, in 2 months, I easily do 7 to 10 countries. Easily. That's without breaking a sweat. I leave on February 25 to Peru to activate the angels, the Stargate of the Angels door at Lake Titicaca, higher frequency Stargate of Lemuria. Then right after that, I go to activate a Stargate at the door known as the Wahi in Australia on March 6th throughout March. 2 Stargates being activated in February and March. That's a big deal. Then I go from there, and I'm open whether I go to Iceland or come back home for a break before I go to New Mexico in May, and present the event, Burning Mask, and reveal the door of the child, the Stargate door known as Totna, which is the door of the child, the connection to the Southern Cross, the Crew constellation. And I have elders coming to that from the Navajo, from the Dene, from the Apache, from around the area, and also from Lemuria, from the Polynesian Triangle. The Kahunas from Hawaii, Reynolds Kamakapavioli, which is the uncle of Israel Kamakapavioli, the song that you know, the singer you know, Brother it's his uncle. And so the Kahunas are coming from there, and other elders from New Zealand and Tahiti, Samoa, Tonga. And a big Polynesian drum group, a Lemurian drum group that's based in Las Vegas, that are my family members coming over to New Mexico. So I got that to do. And I've got seals every day and healing sessions every day online. And certainly grateful to Huna Watu, who is the Huna oversight that oversees everything. In the name of the Father and the Mother and the Child and all of us, so that I'm able to move through all of this. I work on multiple time zones in the physical and in the non-physical. 24 light zones. I live in light zone 6. Time zones, if I don't use time, I work with light. To me, it's a light zone. And 24 light zones. New Zealand being light zone 1, I'm in light zone 6. UTC light zone, the UK light zone 12, and Indonesia, China light zone 24. And so I'm moving through all of that.
I heard that you spent years actually studying this and figuring out where and when you needed to activate certain spots around the globe.
Yeah, well, what an interesting channel. I mean, it was already on the verge, but when they said share, I'm like, no. And they go, oh yeah, I'm gonna share. And then they started loading me with more information, and they started stuffing me full of things, literally, or reminding me, stuffing me full of stuff so I would be reminded, oh, I'm going to that. Okay. So they were stuffing me full of longhouses. You know what longhouses are?
Mm-mm.
You know what the Valhalla is? That's a longhouse, right? The big hall. You know what the big hall is? Right? That's a longhouse. Wharenui, which means the big house. We are all of the longhouse traditions, all of us. Planet Huna is all about the longhouse traditions. Why? Because it represents the womb, known as the Kopanui, and it is all about the womb of Mother. We are all of the longhouse traditions. The longhouse represents the womb. No matter which way you want to look at it or language you want to talk about. If you want to say a wigwam, if you want to say a teepee, there's plenty of names, but it certainly comes down to the Wharenui, which is the longhouse, Hale Nui, so on and so forth. And when that happened, they were also putting in all the canoes, the starships and the canoes from the many, and all of that information and knowledge. Then they placed the sun in my belly, the moon on my tongue, and a white star in my crown. And that happened at Santa Fe. That happened at my first retreat, and that was witnessed by 22 other elders, and they saw this happening while I was doing a seal on somebody. Then they said, whoa, there's all these beings behind you, and they're slamming stuff into you. They're like, boom, 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 and they're standing back, and they're like, behind me, like just ramming all this info. And I'm like, I can feel all this stuff when I'm doing the seal. I'm like, what is, I'm like, fine, let's keep going here. I'm trying to finish the seal, and I'm getting loaded full of stuff. Okay, and then the elder in front of me is like, you feel, what is all that stuff coming in? It's nuts. There's all kinds of video, brother. Just got tons of the videos that I have. And so the information and the knowledge came in, and then the sharing started to happen where the turtle started speaking directly. Honumotu, the turtle island. Where do you live? Where do you guys live?
We live in Canada.
We're on Vancouver Island.
Okay, you're in Turtle Island. You're still on Turtle Island, all right? So the turtle started saying and started talking and sharing with me something about a butterfly. And I started tuning in, and then the butterfly started talking. And the butterfly said, you have to bring 12 turtles to Butterfly Island. I know all about Turtle Island. And I understood there were many more beings, but I had to tune in. I tuned in, and it showed me where Butterfly Island was, the continent of the butterfly. And I had to take 12 elders, 12 turtles, meaning 12 representatives of 12 tribes, to the Black Forest on the island of the butterfly, which is all of Western Europe, part of second Lemuria. And then I learned where all the 4 Lemurias were, and all the 4 Atlantises, and where the 12 beings were, and the alignment to the calendar, and why they're talking right there, why the 12 of them were speaking, the 12 continents. They're represented by these characters, but their energies are incredible. And you connect in, and especially when you're on one of their stargates, one of their portals. And they are the birth signs for the new earth. This is where the child of light is coming in through these light containers. Fully guaranteed, undistorted light. 24 dimension in the form. And we're getting ready for that. Light body, well, you can talk light body all day long. I'll share the details with you. Why? Well, because there's knowledge in it. Why? Because there's wisdom. Why? Because the sacredness is required. That's why. Sacredness begets equality. Equality begets harmony. Harmony begets prosperity. Prosperity begets peace, love, and joy. The 7 steps of the 7 sacred steps. They have to be guaranteed. And so I learned of these of many years of the location, and I learned the locations of these beings and their continental representations in form, not by light, but by shadow. I learned where the shadow was. That way I learned where the light was going to shine. And it showed up as very powerful dark vortexes of what? Every genocidal war you could think of. and where those wars and where the conversions of intentions for interference was sitting the most dense, and with being represented and was in attendance there and ready to squeeze the darkness out. That's all done and known now. Many years of that, but now it's quite a few years. This is fully known. It's fully mapped, fully understood, and the 48 stargates that are aligned to it are fully known. There's no need for me to channel a thing on that. It's already known. It's like, all right, I just continue to walk. Now I have to concentrate on the walk. I follow you. I came here to follow you. We followed each other here. That's at least worth a fry bread and a cup of tea. Or a bannock if you're in Canada. You gotta know that word? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What sort of effect will that create? Is that all positive, or is that going to be a rocky ride as different points are activated and sealed?
Liberation and opportunity. Non-interference of interdimensional travel on a broader spectrum, and expanding in capacity for the individual at the fractal level. Should one allow this and receive this and say, I am ready. Now that alone, what does that mean on the ground? What does it mean about your job? It means you're going to change your job. It means you're going to bring your life into some clarity, and you're doing that. You guys have been helping everyone do it, and I'm watching it. I've been watching it for years. Coming into clarity, people moving their stuff around, putting stuff into U-hauls and going off over there. And then over there, and then down there, all around everywhere. Searching, finding. They said yes, and then they said, I'm ready. And then they jump in the U-haul and off they go. And then next thing you know, Lemuria, hey, I know you, Lemuria, come here.
It's funny you say that, because we actually moved across Canada in a U-Haul with our family and clothes and a few books.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. Huna, where?
Maybe the children? As far as children, can you speak to us of children? How do we best support them now that we have an understanding of the level of interference that has gone on for so long, and we don't want to partake in that?
Treat them as adults, as adult youth. Let them know that they are. Let them know that they don't know nothing. Let them know that they know everything. And I don't mean say, oh, you think you know everything. I don't mean that. I mean, you are very intelligent. Now go out and play in the sand or something, or in the beach or in the tree. Let them run around. Non-interference of interdimensional travel. There's no reason for a school, or that kind of school. That's interference. Corporate over market, it's interference. What? What do they need to eat? Well, grow them some food and give them something to eat. They don't like greens, they will if you make it taste like char siu pork or maybe chicken chow mein. They like anything that tastes good, yeah. Even if they don't like the look of it. You might remind them of something. Sing them a song, tell them the stories. Hey, tell them the stories about the Motu. We've got some stuff coming out on that. The books, tell them, hey. Treat them like adults. I always do. I see them as young adults, as the ancestor in the ancient young body. They are here again. And they are ancient. Mm-hmm. There are very few that are new souls, but there are many that are ancient that are coming into the young beings that you know what they're talking about today. The millennials will go even younger. There are violinists, there are pianists that are 3 and 5 years old that are playing symphonies, running rings around everybody. And they're like this. Hey, what happened to that ice cream? You know what I mean? That's happening, being revealed every other month. It's amazing. And then you have one of the youngest and most incredible nuclear physicists on the planet, and he's now, I think he's 22 or 23 now. Started when he was 9. That's how we treat them, like that. Let them play. I know what's going on, but still find a way. Release them so they can release the grip on themselves. They will grip themselves if they are squeezed too long. And there have been many that have taken themselves out of here. We have, and many are returning. They will return because the child of light will return. We always hold them in the darkness, hold each other in the darkness till the light comes. All right. Now, yeah, I mean, you got to go to the store and buy some stuff. Okay, fine, get a few things, put a mask on, run in, run out, take the mask back off. Big deal. Pretty soon that'll all be going away. It'll all become quiet. And take them to the water, take them to the forest, take them to the mountains. Deprogrammthis.com. Education department is the .com. It's all business. You know that. Health industries, all business, all .com. The governments are all .com corporations. And they'll make their choices. Seen some incredible use today, just amazing decisions they are making. And even in Ibiza, in Spain, the House of Huna, I've been to Spain a few times, and they're creating the Academy of the Youth. They're letting them play. They asked me, what, can you add some stuff? Oh yeah, I got some sticks we can swing around. Let's play with that. And they're like, when's Huna coming back? We want to do the things. Yeah, we're going to stand on the beach and we'll swing a stick around.
Yeah, that's, I think, some of our 3 and 4 year old girl that the 2 girls that we have that are 3 and 4. That's some of their favorite pastimes, I think, is just going to the beach and playing with the rocks and the shells and the sticks and making a little fire out there and
Walking through the forest.
and they'll entertain themselves forever doing it.
I was 7 when I heard the languages being spoken and the voices of the chimes in my backyard where the mountains were. Began to, and then receive it. And I'm like saying these things to my parents. What is this? I heard this. What is that? And then they look at each other and go, where do you get that from? Where'd you get that from, boy? Yeah, from the mountain. Oh, you got it from Tamara? I said, yeah. They go, oh, okay. You know, that's the giant. I said, yeah, he's speaking. Oh, he's speaking. Yeah, what's he saying? Romokako. When I said Romokako, they go, who told you that name? Oh, the master. Romokako. They're like, oh. Well, they looked at each other and they're looking at, oh, we better talk to this guy. Then they wouldn't stop talking. And then I'm like, can I go now? I want to go and play. No, you're going to go to this thing here. I'm going to take you to your grandfather. He wants to talk to you. Oh, great. I like my grandfather. There's a beach where he lives. Yeah, so I'm go up to my grandfather's where I was born. And then the eldest, my grandfather was, let me just tell some very proud words right here, okay? All right. My grandfather was the chief of Ngatironginui, paramount chief of our area location. He was the paramount chief of 10 villages. And a direct line from the navigator's canoe from our lineage all the way from all over the Lemuria And his lineage and his knowledge was passed through to us. He passed away 40 years ago. And I'm named after him. I'm his grandson. I'm known as Moko, meaning the grandson, the grandchild. I'm direct lineage from that canoe, what we known as we call a Matu o te Waka, which means the father line of the canoe, the father lineage of the canoe, which is in alignment to the starships. We breathe life into our canoes because our starships of Lemuria do not require metal objects. Metal technology is a living, breathing, organic starship, right? In divine union of masculine and feminine energies, divine union starships, which do not even require Merkaba. Travel with non-interference of interdimensional travel. And I grew up with this, learning how to breathe life into the canoe from my grandfathers and his grandfathers and all of them, right? But I'm informed through this lineage. And then recently, my granduncle, who was 96, just recently passed away a few years ago. My grandfather's younger brother, the surviving brother, my uncle. And this is my family. My tribes, or my iwi, my family is Ngā Huka and Ngā Toko. Okay, that is my family lineage from the tribes Ngā Tirangi Nui and Ngā Kahununu. Okay. And these are the royal family of the canoe, Taki Timukus. Both families come down into this canoe. Right? And that is my lineage. I was born in Tauranga Moana, which is known as the Sea of Abundance. Tauranga Moana, the Sea of Abundance, in the land of abundance. Okay? And my sacred village where I stood on and where I was born is known as Huria Marae. It's my sacred piece of land where I stand on, known as my Turanga Waiwai, where I can plant my feet and stand on my island. I was born into the understanding of Motu and into the understanding of the canoes, meaning I am beyond maritime law, meaning I am not at sea. I was born on an island at sea. I am on land. I was born to the land. When I am born into my canoe, I am standing on my island. I need not translate quantum understandings into English so you can have quantum grammar. I have no need of that. That is for others to understand. I am from this. I am already quantum. I am already beyond the maritime laws and admiralty laws of the sea, of this planet, this moment, and of all universes. And this is my light in action that I share from those understandings. And my lineage is fully engaged. And my family is fully expanded into this ancestral potentialities. And this is my grandfather that I am so proud of to him. I've had time with him in my teenage life before he passed. And so, I go to the mystery schools. I go to the Wānanga, the Kura Wānanga, which means the school of knowledge. In other words, the mystery school to others because they don't know what we're talking about. We have the knowing of the unknown, shared by the blueprint of the mountain, pilgrimaged and pilgrimages from one mountain to the other, sharing the information. Lama to Lama, Rinpoche to Rinpoche, Maori to Maori. Maori, in my lineage, Maori simply means children of heaven or children of innocence. I cannot be the only one. You must be Maori too. It is an understanding and a notion that we are of the innocent light of the child of light, and we are all children. If you're 80 years old, you're still beginning, you're just 8. Hello, welcome to the age of Lemuria. Now you're 8 years old. Rebirth happened in 2012. Remember, now you're 8, 7, 8, 6. We're all there. We're at the same equatorial balance. All this understanding, and then the lessons have been learned from the womb. And all this was being shared with my young age, and this is the school of wisdom, school of knowledge. Yes, there was a place where I was initiated by my Huna. Arakahana the Piripita Paniariki o Manuariki was my Huna, my Tuhunga. Tuhunga is Huna. Kahuna is Huna. Kahuna is Tuhunga, is Tofunga, which is also another way to say this in Samoan. But ultimately the energy is Huna, which is one, who, and the many, ngā. And Kahuna is not exclusive to Hawaii. Tohunga is not exclusive to Maori or the other islands, but the one that is known that combines them all is the Huna, which is light in action. One in the many, many in the one. Who for human. It's also who is spoken in the Mongolian language, the third Lemuria, a language of third Lemuria, Mongolia, Asia. I've got all this information to share, but who meaning singularity. Ngā meaning many. Huna, one in the many in the one.
Huna, where are we going now? So given where we just kind of finished up from and now 2021, what do you see kind of going forward for this point, 2021 and beyond?
I'm about to go and eat. Just kidding. I'm getting hungry. Here's a kombucha to you.
Cheers.
In an Irish cup. Don't you know? Where we're going? What was the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, 2021. After everything that we just kind of gone through in 2020, where do you see kind of progression? Where are we moving through? Where's humanity moving forward to?
On our way to 2022. Some of us ahead of others. Okay, 2021 began in June for me. Where were you? All right, because the Lemurian calendar starts in June. The Mayan calendar starts in July. Okay, so where were you in June? We were already in 2021. Where was everybody else? 2020. We were in ceremony, in spiritual ceremony, bringing things into the physicality. Now, you're in 2021, so hello, welcome to the age of Lemurian, because you just crossed your threshold of the Gregorian calendar. I'm about to go into the end of it in 6 months. So in next June, we're having our Lemurian New Year, which is in the end of May. We'll be in New Mexico. Then I start 2022 from there. Where am I? 6 months ahead of you without even blinking. Ahead of the Gregorian, without even blinking. It's just going with the nature, not making stuff up, not imprinting it, not pushing it, not forcing it, just being with it. And then what's that doing? Well, I'm doing what I'm doing now. Ceremonies to bring everything for everyone, everywhere, every day. I call it E equals E. E times E equals MC squared to the power of gazillion. Relativity, relative to each other. E times 4 being everything for everyone, everywhere, every day. That's what we're doing. We are doing that. There are many bringing, not just abundance, bringing, what we're doing is eliminating need. Eliminate need. At whatever level you need to go to, we're going to eliminate need so that you can have everything. Put 0 point. Everything is nothing, and nothing is everything. So therefore, need is removed. And what comes from this? What blossoms from the 0? Everything simultaneously. Big Bang. Everything. That to me is the Big Bang. Everything. Bam. Not the universe, not all this technical stuff, but bam, what happened? bam, everything for everyone, and not just the human, everyone, every nation, everything. The clearancing and the opening of all channels, non-interference of interdimensional travel, everything opens energetically on the financial, food, health, technology, wisdom and sharing and knowledges and super intelligence, everything. That's where we're going, and that can come very quickly and accelerated through the elimination of need, which will eliminate greed. But just eliminating need for many brings so much. Are you kidding me? Even in a simple way, if everybody's happy with $600 stimulant money in their house, or they're being carroted 2,000, well, they'll be happy to take 600. But even then, that's an example of what we actually are really able to bring ourselves to be at ease with in a simple life. Doesn't mean that's what it's going to be. This is our ability, eliminating need. Still means everything will come.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is coming. And we've been working on with other groups and other organizations, as you know, and other families and other technologies, yeah, to connect and track some of these things.
Huna, did you want to share anything specifically? Did you want to share
anything that we haven't,
messages or with the audience?
Thank you so much, Huna. Huna, for people to learn more about the work you're doing and to check out the seal ceremony if they were interested and some of the other courses that you have available, and to learn more about the retreats you're doing, where's the best place that we can refer people to go and learn more?
www.hoh.earth.
Beautiful. We will make sure that we have the information on the show notes so everybody knows where to get you. And then we'll talk a little bit about our experience too, I think, after we talk with you again in a few days and do the seal ceremony. We're really excited to do with you as well. Huna, it's been an absolute honor to have you on the show today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you both so much. I look forward to seeing you in a few days.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to invest in your health and well-being. Since this podcast is brand new, Reviews and subscribers are so vital for us to get off the ground and share this really important information. So if you found this information valuable, please post a review and subscribe to the podcast so you'll get our newest episodes. Also, if you know of someone who would benefit from this, please share it with them. You can also find us on Instagram at #InspireHealthPodcast. If you have a question that you'd like to be addressed, direct message me on Instagram or leave a comment on one of my posts. I would love to hear from you. And you can grab our show notes and free resources for each episode at inspirehealthpodcast.com. So be sure to go online and check it out.